We were wondering about your new record. What kind of experiences are you describing on the tracks on the new record?
So a lot of that is my childhood. I was never brave enough to write about those experiences. Brave enough in terms of I was too afraid to have to relive
Yes.
those experiences.
Understood.
And so it took a while for me to get to that place because I knew that every time I sang these songs or I play them, it's kind of going back to that place. But I found that actually it's been quite therapeutic for me because the more I do it, the easier it's become. Before I went to the Musicians Institute, I wrote a song called Africa, the one that I performed. And it was, a lot of it was the perception of how people looked at Africa, sort of from the different people I'd come across. And it just seemed like it was just full of doom and gloom and tears and that there was no joy. And so this song, Africa, talks about the opposite and also that the world gets to write our story, but Africans as well need to be able to write their own story and write their own truth. And yes, there's a lot of sadness, a lot of heartache, but there's a lot of joy and a lot of liberty. There's a very huge contrast that these worlds seem to collide all the time, and it's not just one element of it. So those are a lot of the songs that I was writing. Wow.
And you're doing a lot of giving back through your music, and then you've started an organization called Taps for Africa.
Yes.
And so you found different ways to give back. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So I think, part of my journey has always been I am a recipient and of people's kindness, some that I'll never know. And I'm here today because of so many people that have helped. And so this organization focuses on helping kids who are in similar situations like myself. We go back twice a year in the middle of the year to distribute school uniforms, shoes. Back in Zimbabwe, we don't wear normal clothing. All the students have to wear school uniforms. It's mandatory, and so without those, they cannot go to school.
Wow, really?
Right. Yeah. That's like something that separates, like you're prepared.
Yeah. And so, because these are things that when I was growing up at the orphanage, I remember even like walking into class and not having a pen, and the teacher saying, you need to get out of class because you don't have a pen. And so these are some of the things that I've taken upon myself that all the kids growing up in these homes don't get to experience that shame.
Yeah.
Something as simple as a pen can
separate you.
Can separate you. And so school uniforms, pens, shoes, books, mathematical sets,
That's amazing. Now,
and then Christmas time we go back and we sort of get a list from the kids, and then whatever we can, we get each kid, and then whatever we can do on that list, we do that for the kids.
Oh, you find out what they need. You get their sizes. You get everything.
We get their sizes. We'll usually talk to the children's home and say, what do the kids really need? And so we'll get that specific thing and then add in a little something personal.
I heard an interesting story about not being able to bring anything there, and that you have to kind of like have everything on your...
Yeah, because customs makes it difficult to bring these things in, because they just want to charge duty on them. So if I've bought last time I bought 60 pairs of soccer boots for the boys because they love soccer, and they charged me duty on those boots.
My goodness.
And if I had left them at the airport, they would have been stolen. So I had to pay like $600 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what would you have bought them for in Zimbabwe? How much could you buy soccer boots for? Can you even bought them there?
I wouldn't have found them there.
Okay.
So
to avoid the duty, though, now you're just bringing cash and buying things there?
And just buying the things there, yeah. And then for the much smaller things I can't take, but when you're doing stuff in bulk, it just becomes, because they just look at it like, no, you want to go sell these things.
Yes, right.
I'm like, no, I actually don't. To be fair, I didn't have any letter or any documentation saying that this is what it was for, but...
I wonder if there's some way to get around that, but that's amazing that you do that for those kids. You remember and you're going back. You're not just staying here. You're making sure to take time. How long do you go for every time you go?
I usually go about 3 weeks.
Nice, nice.
One thing we were wondering too is, because of your story and because of the gravitas of what you've been through, what do you tell these kids? What do you say to them? What kind of conversations do you have?
I think it's more like in the way you carry yourself. I think for the kids, I always tell the story. It was Christmas time, and I was handing out some pizzas and some Christmas presents, and a little 9-year-old boy came up to me. And I will never forget this day. And he yanked on my shirt. He was a tiny little guy. And I remember kneeling down, and he said, "I just don't believe that you grew up here." And I said, "Why?" He said, I just can't. And I said, "You can blindfold me, and I'll take you to every corner of this house." And I remember him saying, "So you're telling me that I can be anything that I want to be?" And in that moment, I realized that, the music for me is the vehicle, but I think the ultimate message is the hope that it brings for them. And so I think I would like my life to exemplify hope, because for a lot of them, now when I go to the boys' homes, a lot of them say, "I want to be like you. Mm-hmm. I want to come back and do what you're doing."
Right. And so I know also part of your mission is to, when the kids are aging out, to try to help them transition there too.
Yeah. So we've got about, at the moment, there's about 8 boys in a transition home that we have. And literally, if I stopped supporting them, it would cease to exist. The boys wouldn't get helped at all. So there's about 8 of them.
Did they come out of St. Joseph's?
They all came out of St. Joseph's.
Okay.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, a couple of people have been reaching out to me saying that, is there any way that you can take some different children's homes? I mean, at this point, we can only do 8.
Right.
We do what we can, but because it's such a need, because people assume that, the kids are 18, they can just run off and make something. In a country that has almost 92% unemployment, how do you find a job? And for a lot of these kids also who, like I said prior, didn't do well in the examinations because of that stress. So for a lot of them, we have them back at school, and so they're redoing their exams and all that stuff. And so just to get them better footing.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this clip. Be sure to watch the full episode by clicking the link in the description.
Right, and don't forget to like this video and then subscribe to our channel. Oh, and click on the bell icon so we can let you know when we post a new video.
Thanks guys, take care.
See you next time.